Hey, this is the World Advice Channel 2. What I want to talk about today is the topic of the truth about Lindsay Graham's death. So for this video, I'm going to discuss a lesson that there is to learn from this specific situation with Lindsay Graham dying. So if you're looking for a video maybe talking about like how he died specifically, or maybe if there was some conspiracy related to his death, this is not the video for you at all. This has nothing to do with that. This is just simply a life lesson that people can learn from his death, okay? So if you're not interested in the life lesson, which I'll be talking about for this video, then this is not the video for you, and scroll somewhere else, okay? So in short, to sum things up, I'll be talking about a life lesson that there is to learn, okay? So now that I mention that, let's get started. So when it comes to life lesson that there is to learn, do not be a bad person, okay? That's a life lesson that there is to learn from Lindsay Graham's death. Okay, because when you look at all the videos related to this death, okay, which I've talked about other people's deaths, like Dick Cheney's death and a few others, in some of my previous videos. When it comes to Lindsay Graham, once again, it's a perfect example of what happens when you're a shitty person in life. What happens when you die? Okay, because the truth is, when you look at all of the videos talking about his death, every single goddamn video is full of comments saying, you know, the world is better off with him being dead. I'm so glad he's dead. You know, Satan has come to collect, you know, a new soul, yada yada yada. That's what people are saying. There's not a single comment section that's overall positive. Yes, there's a few positive things, but mostly everyone is saying to themselves, thank you, he's gone, you know, and that's exactly the lesson that we're taking. Okay, because the truth of the matter is, okay, no matter how invincible you think you are, how much you have, and this and that, always in life, do your best to be liked, okay? And even if you're not necessarily someone who cares to be liked by people, at least try to come off neutral, okay? Like, you might do something that might benefit the world or something in some way, but you don't care for maybe praise or for people like you, okay? Whatever you want from life, whether you want people to like you, what you want people different, do not want people to hate you, or in other words, not care if people hate you, okay? Because a lot of people, especially in this new generation, millennials, we were the very prototype, and Gen Z is just straight up wild. They're definitely the after effects of people from my generation, millennials. We were these two latest generations, okay? Including Gen Alpha, we don't give a fuck, okay? We're not like the older generation where even if someone was a terrible person, they can make excuses and say, well, you know, he's a bad person, you know, but let's not curse the dead and all that kind of shit. We don't give a fuck, okay? Millennials and Gen Zs, this new generation, these two latest generations, they don't give a fucking shit. They will straight up say, you know what, we are so much happier with you being dead, okay? Okay, I'm not voicing my honest opinion, okay? Because I didn't like Lindsay Graham, okay? I'm not voicing my honest opinion, okay? But I'm speaking from a perspective of someone who's a millennial and people who are also other millennials and of course Gen Z. They don't give a fuck. They're just straight up, you know what, man? Your whole life, from the very dawn you were born, or let alone in politics, was making other people's lives a living hell, okay? You've made so many people's lives absolutely miserable, and now you're dead, and we're just gonna straight up say, we are so much happier that you're gone. You've made so many people's lives miserable. You've created so much pain and suffering to people that some of them are going to take to the next life with them, you know, because they, you know, for that matter, which I'm not going to go too much into, because that's not a very positive topic, you know, at all, for that matter, okay? But yeah, you get the point. You've made so many people's lives just absolutely terrible. We are so glad you're dead, you know? And that's how millennials and Gen Z, like, if you did something wrong enough, okay? They're not going to be like the older generation who hold things back and have people who try to peer pressure them to say, well, you don't curse the dead and all this bullshit, okay? We are not like that. Us millennials and Gen Z, we don't give a fuck. We're just straight up saying what we think in our head, okay? You made your life. When you were on this planet, you made made numerous lives a living hell. You destroyed lives insufferably. You created situations where sometimes even people committed suicide, and there you go. There's an after practice to go to a good one anyway. Which just shows how terrible people like Lindsay Graham is. You did something so terrible that someone who could have been a good person put themselves in a situation where they did something where you don't even know if they're gonna have a happy afterlife at all. Because the universe obviously doesn't want people to kill themselves when life is hard, so they're probably gonna have a terrible afterlife. Which goes along my point that he's done things that just absolutely insufferably ruin people's lives with a direct or indirect. So when you see things like that, like what he was doing, people are gonna be like, we don't give a fuck. We're just so glad you're out of this world. Your whole life on this planet has just been making other people unhappy, making people filled with a life of pain and suffering. We're just glad you're gone. We're not like older generation who's gonna try to talk around it, this and that. And that's why, why you're seeing so many people post hate comments, okay? Especially since the fact that we live in a digital age. People are open to saying what they honestly believe. They're not gonna hold back and hold things like they did many years ago, So that's the honest truth of the matter, okay? So in short, that's why you should be first, okay? Because the truth of the matter is, when it comes to Lindsay Graham's death, okay, when it comes to people like him and why the internet so acts the way it does now, is that we as a society are reaching a point where we are at a breaking point, okay? We are at a breaking point. People in this world are unhappy. People are fed up. Specifically liberals like myself are fed up with it. We need to live, specifically for people who are millennials, Gen Xers, our whole lives filled with consistent disappointment, okay? Consistent disappointment. We've had so many issues that we haven't had race issue resolved. We haven't had global warming issue resolved. We haven't had resource race issue resolved. We are, for millennials and Zers, a generation that is used to hearing about disappointment over and over when it comes down to world situations. Okay? We're so used to it. We've had easily 20 plus years to give an example of global warming not getting anywhere when it comes to anything changing. We're just used to hearing disappointment. So when you have that many people with that much hatred, because they live in a world that's full of politicians, okay, you can't expect them to think like they would during times of prosperity, okay? People are angry. And when people are angry and are fucking fed up, in all honesty, you think they're going to say, oh, well, it's so sad when things like people like him and others in general have contributed to the world. Of course not. And if anything, it shows that at least there's some good news in this world, for fuck's sakes. That even bad people have bad things happen to them. Because in this world, we're at a point, especially newer generation, where people are just like, we're so used to hearing about people who are bad, fucking people over and doing terrible things and going on living laws and acting lies, that anytime people actually see that bad things actually happen to them, with bad people, they're like, oh my goodness, thank you. Let alone the fact that they're not able to screw up the world. So that is the reason, if you don't understand what my second point here is, why so many people in this world act the way that they do when it comes to venting out their frustration on politicians who are evil and are fighting well, yes, they're dead. That's the reason why, and that's why, like I was saying before, back to the thing, why you should treat people, okay? When you're born on this planet, do your best, okay? You sure as hell won't make mistakes, right? Especially for politicians. You will do things that you'll look back and say, that was kind of a bad idea. You will do many different things and stuff that might not been the greatest choices, whatever say, but at the end of the day, as long as you're someone who actually has good intentions, or even if you don't really care to be a good person, you're just interested in more, personal gain, just try not to do something to make people hate. Because just like you're seeing in the comment section, there's just hate comments for every place, there's a video that talks about it, if you die, you want to be remembered like that? I don't think so. And I don't think the family like either. And so on and so on. So that is the truth. So anyway, this is my video about the truth of Lindsay Graham's death. I hope you enjoyed it as well as learned a lesson from this video. As the point of this video is to enlighten people to not make the mistakes he made, because oh boy, are people roasting him in the comment sections. Okay, so that is all I have to say for this video. And just remember, if you like this video, remember to thumbs this video up and hit the subscribe button. And that's all I have to say. And simply put, I'm out. So bye.